I don't know what college costs now, but let's just say it's $20,000 a year. You're walking out 4 years later with an $80,000 student debt compared to the guy that went into the blue collar industry and learned a skill set on the job while he was getting paid. Who's ahead? Coming out of college, you've got zero in-field experience, so you're coming in entry level, and you got all these other graduates that are coming in looking for a job on entry level. But then you got this guy that came straight out of high school, immediately started applying his time, trading his time for money, and he's getting an education while he's on the job site. He's getting elevated up, and now 4 years later, he has zero debt to college, and he has a 4-year experience pay grade that he's reaping the benefits from.
America's backbone was built on blue-collar business grit, grind, and muscle. This is where you stop working for the business, and the business starts working for you.
Rise of the blue-collar service industry, blue-collar millionaires. Main Street businesses, blue-collar businesses. Why is it getting so popular, and what is the opportunity sitting inside of it? What's your thoughts, Kevin?
The change over 30 years when I started, that was like a dirty word, blue collar.
Yeah.
But now in the Wall Street Journal front page, about 3 months ago, was all about blue collar companies selling for tens of millions of dollars to private equity. The opportunity to have generational wealth in a very short period of time is here, and it's in blue collar. But people in our group might see it, or maybe they don't. But other people are totally oblivious. We have a friend, 4.5 years, massive exit.
Yeah.
Not 10 million, not 20 million. More.
Huge.
4.5 years he did it. He's a unique person, right? But we're watching people do this. There's a huge opportunity because the people my age and older who were blue collar and did it, all they were doing it was to make money, right? But now the younger generation, the ones that see it and say, hey, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to use technology, and then I'm going to match it with this demand for these blue collar services that AI is not taking away, that people don't want to do. And I'm going to build a company and then exit this in 5 years or 10 years and make a ton of money. It's here. But so many people, they want to just be on their phone and they want to be Instagram influencers and stuff.
Yeah.
You can do both. Like you can be the influencer in the blue collar space,
Exactly.
get people to buy into your vision and then have a massive exit.
I think the fact that the service-based industry really was legitimized when we saw during COVID that everybody's started pushing their money towards those type services. People's attention will go wherever the money flows. And so when all that money started flowing towards the service industries, then people started looking and realizing there was real systems. Like there is a strategy to bringing the revenue in these blue collar businesses. And then couple that with the fact that you have so many of these founders that are retiring, that is creating a massive opportunity on the blue collar space because we understand supply demand. And there will always be a demand for electrician, for HVAC, for plumbing, for cleaning, for any of these blue collar services that are out there. The individuals that are coming into this space, even at entry level, they're making more than what 4-year degree college students, graduates are able to make. So I love the fact that we're getting to see that since we're in the space. I like that it's getting awareness because we do need people to start entering into this industry again. They need to understand there's opportunities. So last year I sat there and started moving through my hourly rate, my man hours, because we got really good at documenting our times on the jobs. I could sit there and look at a carpet cleaning, tile cleaning service had $74 per man hour of revenue that it was bringing in. I looked at my air duct cleaning that was hovering right around $100 per man hour coming in. I looked at my mold remediation that was around the 150-ish. My fire restoration mitigation that was sitting in around the 250-ish mark. And then water mitigation was even higher than that per man hour. So if you as a business owner can come in and make that leaves you a lot of room to be able to provide a fantastic earning for the individuals that are coming in to do this sweaty, nasty work. And it makes it much easier to acquire those critical thinkers, those resourceful and problem solving individuals that will be massive assets for your businesses. Don't sleep on this. And more importantly, I would never start another blue collar business from scratch again because there's so many on the market.
Just buy one.
You can go buy one. Proven brand. You already know it works.
Look at all the plays and the data on it. Look at this. Like, we see in our group so many people, I can't hire A players. I can't find anybody. How do you guys hire? It's a constant post. I never hear that in the white collar world. You go on Indeed, there's like 800 resumes for one person. So it's just supply and demand. You are more in demand in the blue collar space. Let's just talk about an 18-year-old kid who knows nothing. And they said, hey, I'm going to go work for this HVAC company. I'm going to learn the skills. Like for 2 years, I'm going to try to get really good. Now you're 20 years old. You kind of know a lot of stuff. I'm going to work for a company that's successful. I'm literally going to watch all their systems, everything they do right. If I'm a smart guy, I'm probably going to find out some things. They should tweak this. This works better when I do this. Now you're 21 or 22 years old. This person essentially could go get a company from a baby boomer or somebody who might have 8 or 10 employees, get somebody like us, if they don't have the money to get behind it, and then just copy that. In a way, he didn't buy a business, he started one, but that's what our buddy did who had the massive exit. He took all the systems, because he worked for a company that got sold for private equity, had 100 employees. He took all them, boom, start day one and do it. That was unheard of before. When I was doing it in 1991, it was like, go get a lawnmower and figure it out. Like, and if I worked for a landscaper, what were they? It was like some guy was probably hungover and there was 3 of them and nobody knew anything, right? There was one guy yelling at some people. Now everything is, there's so many companies that are systemized. If you don't have money and you're young, you can go work, learn skills. That's why I tell my own stepson, like, you have an opportunity now. Go work somewhere where you can learn stuff. You're going to make money too.
Get paid to
Who
get an
cares?
education.
$1, $2 an hour. Yeah, you're getting paid to learn stuff.
I don't know what college costs now, but let's just say it's $20,000 a year. You're walking out 4 years later with an $80,000 student debt compared to the guy that went into the blue collar industry and learned a skill set on the job while he was getting paid. Who's ahead? Coming out of college, you've got 0 in-field experience. So you're coming in entry level and you got all these other graduates that are coming in looking for a job on entry level. But then you got this guy that came straight out of high school, immediately started applying his time, trading his time for money, and he's getting an education while he's on the job site. He's getting elevated up. And now 4 years later, he has 0 debt to college and he has a 4-year experience pay grade that he's reaping the benefits from. Like, it's a no-brainer to me. And once you learn the skill set, it doesn't mean you stay in the field digging the ditch. You learn and compound those skill sets and understand and move yourself up in management.
When you come out, you have interest on that too. That person had 4 years of earning potential you just lost out on. If that person didn't go do dumb stuff with their money, they might even be buying a house when you come out of college. I bought a house really early. I had a couple friends who bought a house early, like literally when people were coming out of college. Then when they're 27, you're buying the same house they did, but it's $200,000 more. Like, it's hard to catch them now. So it's not that I'm anti-college. We're never anti-learning.
No.
It's just what's the best use of your thing. But you look at our 2 operating partners in windshield business, both college educated. One has a doctorate. He's back here. He's going to make way more money. He didn't leave that. He just saw opportunity. He's been studying it. He's saying, what's going on? He's in Blue Collar Millionaire. He's talking to his buddy. He's like, wait, you're going to make millions of dollars like this. And they're going to.
He followed the money. Like, if you will follow the money, it will always lead you right. So where is the money going? And that's where you need to be paying attention and trying to figure out, why is the money going that direction? Why is people putting and spending money there? It's a massive opportunity.
You could go at night if you want to. Go ahead and go to college too. I'm not saying don't do it. But there's just so much opportunity here. Like, you could set yourself up.
There's certain things you need the college for. I want my lawyer to know the law. I want my doctor to know the anatomy. They need their college. They need their time there. But there is a deficit in the blue collar industry, and the Main Street businesses are dissolving. They're not being sold if you're not buying, and there's a massive opportunity.
This idea that you got to be 40 years old and have millions of dollars to buy a business.
It's not real anymore.
Or that you can't make millions and millions of dollars as a blue collar guy. You can't do that swinging a hammer or turning a wrench. You could still make good living. You'll make $60 an hour, 100. You have techs who are making really good money. We all know techs, so you can do that too. You could start at that do really well, go buy a house, start raising your family, and then say, hey, how do I get equity in this company? How do I go start my own thing? How do I go buy one and just copy the same systems? We talk about it all the time. Blue Collar Millionaire. Get in our Facebook group. Got 215,000 people in there. It's a great group. Want to learn more about Chris and I and what we offer? Go to bluecollarmillionaire.net. We got to get to this dinner. Got to see you guys next week.